Welcome to Newsbeat here on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Sekia Ababu. Let's take a look at the headlines for this afternoon. Parliament's Appointments Committee is scheduled to vet the final batch of deputy ministerial nominees today, Friday, July 25. The 4 nominees, all sitting members of Parliament, are set to appear before the committee for assessment and consideration. Also in the bulletin this afternoon, Finance Minister acknowledges the severity of the difficulties in Ghana's economy. He says the economic management team is focused and committed to working on those challenges. And also a section of MPP members and sympathizers in the Akwetia constituency of the Eastern region rally behind former MP Mercy Edudjemfi as their preferred candidate for the upcoming by-election. They believe she is best positioned to succeed the late MP Ernest Yakumi and help the party retain the seat. We're bringing you details of these stories and many more. Please do stay with us. Now, let's begin with our very first story. Parliament's Appointments Committee is vetting the final batch of deputy ministerial nominees today, Friday, July 25. President John Dramani Mahama selected the nominees in line with Articles 78 Clause 1 and 79 Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution. Now, the 4 nominees, all sitting members of Parliament, are set to appear before the committee for assessment and consideration. They include Dr. Afotofi, MP for Jomero, who has been nominated for the position of Deputy Minister for Transport, and James Jachi Kwesin, MP for Asin North, who is nominated for Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. Also up for vetting are Mohammed Adam Suparu, MP for Sisala West, nominated for Deputy Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, and Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, MP for Esikadu Kintan, nominated for Deputy Minister of Health. Now, the nominations were referred to the Appointments Committee by the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, on 17th July, and this session marks the final round of deputy ministerial vettings under the current administration. Once approved, the nominees will support their respective sector ministers in delivering government policies and enhancing public service efficiency. Now, away from that, the Ghana Audit Service has identified 53,311 individuals on the government's payroll receiving salaries despite having retired, being reassigned, terminated, or even deceased. The government aims to recover a minimum of 50.4 million cedis in unearned salaries from these separated staff over the 2023 to 2024 period, according to Finance Minister Dr. Kesilatu Forson.
We have taken measures to sanitize public sector audit service to undertake a nationwide payroll audit across all 16 regions of the country. The Speaker, the audit service has completed 91% of the payroll audit. So far, the audit service has not been able to identify or verify over 14,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, again, they have identified 53,311 separated staff on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, separated staff are staff who are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, or are on leave without pay or deceased, and yet remain on government payroll. Mr. Speaker, the audit service expects to recover a minimum of 2023 and 2024 period alone. Right Honourable Speaker, going forward, we will enforce the monthly payroll validation process and strictly apply sanctions to all who validate ghosts for payment of salaries. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. Let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Now, let's still stay on the Finance Minister made their budget review presentation in Parliament, and he says Ghana's economy is showing strong signs of recovery, marked by falling inflation, improving fiscal balances, and renewed investor confidence. He reported that inflation dropped from 23.8% in December 2024 to 13.7% by June 2025, the lowest since December 2021. Now, he credited these gains to stronger coordination between the Finance Ministry and the Bank of Ghana, investments in key sectors, and the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board to stabilize the city. He was speaking during the mid-year budget review presentation, and he also addressed that the minority which staged a walkout.
We line up a number of activities to back home our demands, and to the extent that these violence visited are not at home, we cannot be part of the presentation of the mid-year budget. And to that extent, because to that extent, we are exiting the Parliament and cannot be part of this process.
We have restored coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to ensure a cohesive and integrated approach to economic policy making across relevant institutions. Mr. Speaker, in less than 200 days, we have brought back clarity, certainty, stability, and purpose to our economic policy direction. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have made significant progress. The signs of recovery are obvious, evident, noticeable, visible, tangible, and they are being felt. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's fiscal position has significantly improved. The primary balance on commitment basis posted a surplus of 11.1% of GDP at the end of June 2025, beating the ambitious 0.4% surplus target for the same period. Right, Honorable Speaker, the overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was 0.7% of GDP, outperforming the target of 1.8% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, inflation has reduced significantly from 23.8% at the end of December 2024 to 13.7% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that this is the lowest since December 2021 and marks 6 months of continuous decline. Interest rates are declining with a drastic drop in Treasury bill rates. The 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced from 27.73 in December 2024 to 14.73 in June 2025, a decline of over 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 182-day T-bill rate has reduced from 28.43% in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025, a decline of another 1,300 basis points.
Now, the Finance Minister, Dr. Kesila Tuforson, has also declared a significant turnaround in Ghana's debt profile, attributing the progress to strict fiscal discipline, prudent debt management, and a steady appreciation of the cedi. He made this known on the floor of Parliament yesterday while delivering the 2025 mid-year budget review.
Public debt reduced from 726.7 billion as at end December 2024 to 613 billion as at end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt reduced by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, there is a negative 15.6% rate of debt accumulation. Right, Honorable Speaker, Ghana's public debt to GDP ratio as at end June 2025 was 43.8% from the 61.8% of end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt as a percentage of GDP reduced by 18% of GDP in the last 6 months. Ghana's foreign debt as a percentage of total public debt declined from 57.4% as at end December 2024 to 49% by end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, this has significantly improved Ghana's debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on debt restructuring.
Away from that, let's take you to the Eastern region, where majority of members and sympathizers of the New Patriotic Party in the Akwatia constituency of the region have called on the party leadership to present the former Member of Parliament, Mercy Edudjemfi, popularly called as Amasei, as the candidate to win the upcoming by-election.
Campaign coordinator for the former Member of Parliament for Akwatia, Mercy Edudjemfi, popularly known as Amasei, admitted that they have had to call for Amasei to be presented by the MPP as candidate for the by-election. He stated that Amasei is the most popular and influential person in the Akwatia constituency currently, of which she remains the sole candidate for the MPP to win the Akwatia by-election.
In somewhere also, fact, NSC we na nipa bebre na efre Honorable Amasei. Na constituency mu de obie no ho ye popular wo MPP mu ene NDC mu a ye boni din wo Akwatia constituency kama Honorable Amasei. Na nukure ni ade ne ba na ma me na eboto enti ni ebisa na sem bia no nkasa because the NSC no central for bebre try say omne ne be kasa betoka say opomucho ade na esi no eyo haw kase ne ade so kase na abeda MPP Akwatia constituency so any MPP na enu nti de nkofo kan na enukre Honorable Amasei ne track record e wo ho a e kire se empenifo agitum se MPP ye de Honorable Amasei ko a tumi na obeje na odi ahye odihye a wafim eye Honorable Neskumi any party ni nyina eni onyam Honorable Amasei ba na ho brase ne din a obeje nti no onyamu abebre e de ba constituency mu de di kan Oma enkro maku 22 enhu light da oma omunya light efi wanchin krase topreman krase Akwatia lafia no mafo kwan no so nyina oma omu light afi Akwatia na ayekroto ka entwam Honorable Amasei modern bosso ene enya bridge edito eye river brim so ama Akwatia ofa ha na wakọ dan kro no nya kro to bi Honorable Amasei by a more diabo education sector, a more a school adan wasisi, any enconforma, any adwumaye, security services, name them. Nini na wabuama, Akwatia constituency, nya Akwatianko, including nyina baby obedubiano, or project awayo. Akonyata ye pre. Adisia prese omunya, ombedi constituency nyina, ya de papa. Ina chese yakunyano, esumbu. Nemum. Se akunyato fia yehwe odisia osefata ena yede amano.
Away from the Eastern region, the Ghana Chamber of Mines has disclosed that its member companies sold over 358,000 ounces of gold to the Bank of Ghana in 2024 under the Domestic Gold Purchase Program. The Chamber says the initiative has significantly contributed to the appreciation of the cedi against the US dollar and strengthened the central bank's reserves.
At a press briefing, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Mines, Dr. Ken Ashigbe, mentioned that the gold purchase initiative has been instrumental in boosting the central bank's position and subsequently strengthening the cedi. He emphasized that the Chamber will continue to support the BOG with voluntary foreign exchange and gold purchases, underscoring the industry's commitment to stabilizing the country's forex market. He revealed that the Chamber sold over 358,000 ounces of gold to the Bank of Ghana in 2024 under the Domestic Gold Purchase Program.
The total mineral revenue returned to this country, is 4.99 billion. So you could say $5 billion is what was returned. So it would then make it $70 billion if you multiply by 14 cedis. And that's 70.1% of that revenue that was returned into this country. And so when you see the strength of the local currency, that's what is coming. And then in terms of, that is on the back of 358,218 ounces of gold. And then you have the manganese component, the bauxite component that would have been done. That's done by large-scale miners. But in terms of the physical initiatives, a total of 17.68 billion cedis was paid.
The Chamber revealed that the total mineral revenues for 2024 reached $7 billion, out of which a total of $5 billion, representing 70.8% of the total revenue, was retained in the country.
So in terms of the total mineral revenue generated by this country, it was $7.05 billion. That's, and we'll multiply by 14 cedis to get what the cedi equivalent would be. And the total mineral revenue returned to this country, is 4.99 billion. So you could say $5 billion is what was returned. So it would then make it $70 billion if you multiply by 14 cedis. And that's 70.1% of that revenue that was returned into this country. And so when you see the strength of the local currency, that's what is coming.
The Chamber also added that the sector directly employs over 11,300 Ghanaians, with only 69 expatriate employees.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has directed that effective Thursday, June 24, no contract awarded by government should be funded in foreign currencies. This was made known by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kassilatu Forson, yesterday when he delivered the mid-year budget review to Parliament. And speaking on the floor of the House, Dr. Forson also reminded companies and businesses to desist from pricing in foreign currencies.
Of goods and services and award of contracts in foreign currency pose significant risk to fiscal management, with severe implications for the stability of our Ghana cedi. Unfortunately, foreign currencies are becoming the means of transacting business in Ghana. This trend, if not checked, will erode the confidence in our currency, drive inflation, and result in the loss of value in the symbol of our sovereignty. The Speaker, to curb this unfortunate development, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of fund, should be denominated in foreign currency. Right, Honorable Speaker. To curb this unfortunate development, President John Dramani Mahama has directed that beginning today, 24th of July 2025, no contract awarded by government, irrespective of source of funding, should be denominated in foreign currency. Mr. Speaker, we also want to use this opportunity to remind the public that per the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, companies, institutions, and individuals are prohibited from pricing, advertising, receipting, or making payment for goods and services in foreign currencies in Ghana without prior written approval from the Bank of Ghana.
Now, the Member of Parliament for Ejisu, Kwabena Boateng, has appealed to the government through the Ministry of Roads and Highways to, as a matter of urgency, ensure road contractors go back to sites. He indicated that most roads in the Ashanti region have become death traps, endangering pregnant women, traders, farmers, and school children.
The MP's appeal comes after a demonstration organized by the Concerned Drivers Union of Ejisu on the 7th of July 2025. They complained about potholes that are causing miscarriages among pregnant women on the Ejisu-Onwe road. Many residents along the road and motorists joined the 4-hour demonstration to protest the bad road networks, particularly from Onwe to Kwaso. The Eswala Akufo-Addo administration started the Ejisu-Onwe and the Achiasi roads, but could not complete them before leaving office. Mr. Kwabena Boateng is appealing to the Mahama government to complete road projects that were started by the previous government. According to him, most of the school children in the affected communities find it difficult to attend classes during the rainy season, while vehicles get stuck while commuting.
Mr. Speaker, while I commend the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ghana Highways Authority for commencement of the constructions, it is clear that mere beginnings are no longer enough. We need commitment, continuity, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, completion. Mr. Speaker, I therefore make the following passionate appeals: that the Minister of Road and the Road Ministry do the needful facilitations for the contractors to remobilize to site and resume full work on the Ejoso-Onwe Kwaso Road and the Kokobra Achiase Road. Mr. Speaker, we also expect works on roads like Asamai and Akuko Amon, who have never seen tarred roads since independence. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, that permanent drainage systems be implemented to prevent erosion and flooding, which further deteriorate these roads, especially during the rainy season.
Let's move away from that, and one person has been killed and 4 others injured in a shooting incident at the International Cattle Market in Tulaku, located in the Pong Kantamansu district of the Greater Accra region. The assailant, yet to be identified, opened fire on unsuspecting traders, prompting fears of a possible link to the ongoing Boko tribal conflict.
Usually busy and vibrant Tulaku cattle market turned into a crime scene on Wednesday evening when unknown gunmen shot into a group of traders, killing 1 and injuring 4 others. The shooting has left residents and traders in shock, with some linking the attack to the protracted ethnic tensions in Boko. Eyewitnesses say the shooter targeted traders believed to be affiliated with one of the ethnic groups involved in the Boko conflict between the Mamprusi and Kusasi. 2 of the injured, who have been treated and discharged, spoke to Metro News.
Just 4 times on the same place. I'm having my junior brother doing a mobile money vendor at the main gate there. That's the first place that the shooter's there, and I'm there. Luckily, he couldn't touch me. And second time too, they came and shoot where they shoot us yesterday. They shoot us there. And they came and shoot another one, the same place. And yesterday too, the same place.
Police have launched a full-scale investigation, insisting the incident is being treated purely as a criminal act. The Director of Investigations at the National Security Council, Alhaji Alhassan Osman, led a police delegation to visit Tulaku and held peace talks with leaders of the Mamprusi and Kusasi communities at the markets.
We came here, number one, on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, to extend our condolences to the bereaved family and also pay a visit to the wounded at the various hospitals. So far, they are all stable, and we thank God for it. We also saw it as prudent that we have to be here and engage with the leadership of the markets, and then the various tribal heads, especially from the Mamprusi and Kusasi side, which we have been able to engage them peacefully and fruitfully.
The Tulaku Cattle Market has since been placed under heavy security surveillance as authorities and community leaders work together to prevent any reprisal attacks or ethnic tensions. As investigations continue, police are urging anyone with information to come forward. For now, the focus remains on ensuring calm and preventing the flames of the Boku conflict from igniting tensions in the south.
Still in the bulletin this afternoon, the Project Management Institute Ghana has launched the Women in Project Management initiative at the ongoing National Project Management Conference in Accra, aimed at increasing female participation in leadership and national development. Engineer Dr. Alberta Mankwa, speaking to Metro News, expressed optimism about the initiative's potential to empower women and strengthen their role in driving national discourse and economic transformation.
We notice that women in project management is underrepresented. We have a percentage of 31 of our total membership being women, making about 69 male. It goes to show that women nationally, we are more than half of the population. But why is it that when it comes to project management, our percentage is way lower than the half? So we seek to bridge the gap and ensure that women are empowered to excel in leading projects across the country and even globally. So it is going to be an intentional mentorship where young ladies will be mentored to lead projects, to develop best project management skills so that they will grow up to be best or very good project managers as females. And in the end, we get to shape the future of Ghana. We are now going to recruit Director of Women in Project Management, and she is going to ensure that she works so hard to increase the percentage of women in project management. With that, we are going to start, we'll go to the basic schools, the high schools and the tertiary institutions to engage females, to mentor them right from the beginning so that as they grow, they would be able to develop the project management skills that we all seek to have in females so that they can lead various national projects to excellence.
And that's it for this afternoon's bulletin. My name is Ekia Ababu. Stay with us as we continue with the rest of the show after this break.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an active panel at a discounted price of 18,000 Ghana Cedi only, and it comes with a Fire Stick, a webcam, and a microsystem. You can locate us at Chado Container behind the Trade Fair. Visit Mycom JA Limited today and elevate your tech.
Hi, my name is Fred McBagon-Lurie, President of Academic City University in Accra, Ghana. Academic City is at the forefront of technology development. Here at Academic City, innovation and ingenuity blend seamlessly with innovation. We respect knowledge. Knowledge is power. And once Africans start to internalize knowledge, you see the level of development that we attain here. The Tycoon Africa Conference is a convergence of influencers and professionals from across the continent, folks that are interested in marketing and ICT. At this conference, you meet marketers from across the African divide, from Southern Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Kenya, from Uganda, and of course, from our beautiful country called Ghana. I will be speaking, and there will be many other professionals and experts who will be sharing the African experience in marketing and ICT. This is an opportunity you will not want to miss. At this conference, you will meet people working at the forefront of AI, ICT integration, using new tools and emerging technologies, marketers who are at the forefront of pushing this agenda, and more importantly, it will be an avenue for us to encounter policy.
And a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. I am Bright Nanakwesi Amedin, and it's a Friday, so we're choosing, to be very calm and collective here on the program. And so we'll be taking it to Parliament later, where the vetting committee have already started their work. Already vetted the first nominee by the President, John Dramani Mahama, the President of Honorable Dorcas Afo-Toffe, who is going in for the position of a Deputy Minister in charge of transport here in the country. Later, we know that also Honorable James Jachi-Quayson, who is going in for a position as a Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, will also be vetted, and also followed by Honorable Grace Ayinsu Dankwa, who will also be filling a position as Minister for Health, Deputy Minister for Health, and also Honorable Mohammed Adam Sukparu, Deputy Minister for Communications and Digital Technology and Innovation. And so we're bringing you all this live update here on the program this afternoon. And so earlier, before the Honorable Nominated Minister, Dorcas Afo-Toffe, was actually made to sit in the chair, her daughters, musician and reality TV star Fantana, was there with her sister to back their mother. Let's now go on the phone line and speak to Dr. Asante Okyere on the budget from yesterday, exactly what happened in Parliament on the floor of the House and what he makes of it. And later we'll come back here in the studio and take you back to the committee where the vetting is happening. But for now, Dr. Asante Okyere is on phone for a conversation. Good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to Good Afternoon, Ghana.
Good afternoon, Michael.
First of all, tell me, how do you react to the statement read in Parliament yesterday by the Honorable Minister for Finance, Kesel Atuba-Forson?
Impressive. He's a very smooth talker. Let me say good afternoon to your viewers first of all. It is this weekend that I'm burying my mother, but I'm still, offering this kind of interviews as well for God and country. I think that the delivery was quite impressive, like the substantive budget itself. And there are so many positive indicators. Right. And it is an acceptable fact that we are not out of the woods yet. They are on a total recovery, after which, according to the minister, we are going to see some kind of magnificent growth, as it were, magnificent being my own word. So if you look at the macro indicators, for example, the CD to the dollar, our debt portfolio, inflation for that matter, Fitch Solution telling us that we are now on a B with stable effect. I look at the transport sector, buying fuel at 70 cedis not long ago. Now I'm buying the same fuel, a gallon at 55 and even below. And so we still have a long way to go as a nation. Our roads have become quite terrible. There are some road construction going on as well, but that sector ought to be checked properly, because if you look at the incidence of accidents, they are near thousands, and that does not really augur well for us. And so I believe that Dr. Atuba-Forson is on the right track, and an impressive delivery for that matter.
Right. If you followed also conversations on social media, a number of people were asking questions, especially a part where he mentioned the decrease in price of sanitary pads. People were asking, which of the shops is he buying those parts from? Because the price are still same. And so the issue with decrease in prices due to the appreciation of the cedi hasn't really hit Ghanaians that much. What do you make of that as well?
Well, sometimes I believe that our economy is more or less like an artificial economy. Because whenever there is an increment or a depreciation of the cedi, you easily see the effect on the market. But if the cedi is appreciated, why are we not seeing that on the market?
Right.
So this one boils down to human behavior. I listened to some drivers when they were asked to reduce their price by a 15 percentage point. And they were suggesting, and which was quite of a reason, that when they buy this, they pay for this, but these things have not gone down. Why is it the case that theirs will have to go down by that percentage point, 15 percentage point? So that in itself is good. It's a good question that they posed out there. But sometimes, you see, because we're operating a free market economy, we get deluded that some of these things should come down naturally or should go up naturally. I think that government should intervene positively. You know why? They can ask some of these huge conglomerates to do the importation of those things that, because of the dollar, the prices ought to go down. Now, that will force those who are already in the market monopolizing, right, and fleecing on all of us to either reduce their prices or they will be kicked out of the market. Because the two of us cannot be selling the same high-sense bridge, for example, and yours is this and mine is that, when we imported at the same time. The excuse people have been given that, oh, these are old importation, so allow us, to clear. I think nobody can convince, no businessman in this country can convince me that since the time the city began appreciating against the major currencies, they've not done new importation. Then it means that you're not a good business person. You are not. So if they have been doing new importation, why is it not reflected? We are not in a controlled pricing period in those years. Why people will be whacked here and there because you are just uncontrollably greedy. You see, you want exorbitant profit. Where are you taking all these things to? So either we find a way of creating new businesses, creating new millionaires, so that if indeed, instead of engaging in our own productive data, which we are not able to do that at sustainable levels, if it is a matter of government intervention to ensure that things that these businesses are running and they are not reducing prices because they think that the city will in no time depreciate. And if it depreciates, then it means that they will have been shorting. But probably the trump card will be the fact that the city may not depreciate. And if you look at the way and manner the finance minister is managing this economy, I believe sincerely that with this prudent management, certainly there will be that sustainability for a long period.
Whatever was stated, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm asking you, as Ghanaian as you are, whatever statement that was given by the Finance Minister Kissel Atuforsen on the floor yesterday, do you think or believe in the true state of the nation in finance?
Well, I don't think I want to believe less of what he said. This is the person that when he was in opposition, there are so many things that he said that even led to his prosecution. He told us that we were going to go to the IMF. You remember late Dr. Kuma denied that we are not going to the IMF today. What happened?
Not be saying that thing will be loud though.
It's the same person who told us that we were going to have a haircut. It took the president to come and deny it at the State of the Nation address. We were given haircut. So we are talking about someone who is on top of his brief, not only in government, but even from opposition. And he's been very consistent. And so, for example, if you look at the 2025 budget, how he was able to remove, certain tax handles without bringing any increment in a shrewd and ingenious manner. He said tax returns, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how he was able to do that. So the only, increment we've seen is this 1 cedi on the fuel. But that has even come about because we've enjoyed that particular windfall, as patrons of some of these things. And so the point is that I don't want to believe less of what he said, but we'll be monitoring, especially the big push. We need to monitor that because that's a huge investment. And if this actualizes as a nation, then I think that our infrastructure will go to the next level.
So which of the statements read by him really resonated with you?
Well, prudence, our import cover, so many things, especially the energy sector, where we've been making 1.5 or 1.6 financial annual losses in dollars. No wonder we'll be experiencing doomsday. And I don't think that any economy can be sustainable when you make such losses in the energy sector. It's going to affect productivity. Obviously, it's going to affect prices of goods and services because people have to use other means to get their production done. And so we require that prudent management in the energy sector to ensure that in a sustainable way, will not be experiencing themselves.
All right. Thank you so much. I know you are a bit busy and hot this afternoon. I mean, your mother's funeral beginning today to the 27th of July. You are going to support from my end here as well.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yes, and so our condolences also going out to you as well. We come and support you. So there you have it, Dr. Asante-Okyere, who is always here with us on our programs, helping us analyze issues here in the country, joining us speaking about what exactly was said by the finance minister in Parliament concerning Ghana's budget review. And so, just so we share our condolences with him, his mother, in the person of Madam Janet Williams, the late, will be buried on the beginning today, 25th, 26th, and 27th. And so we are sending our condolences to him. Dr. Asante-Okyere, we are grateful. We make sure we come and support you wherever this is happening. So stay with us here on a Good Afternoon, Ghana. Like I told you earlier, we'll be going in and out of Parliament just to say the vetting committee where vetting is actually happening of some deputy ministers nominated. Already, one person has been vetted who's supposed to fill in the position of a deputy minister for transport, Dorcas Afo Tofe. Yes, she just came in with her two beautiful daughters. And currently, we have in person Honorable Jachi Kwesen, who is seated before the vetting committee to answer questions by the panel. He will also be, if passed and endorsed, he will become the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, helping Honorable Sam Okudzeto-Ablakwa managing the issues there at the ministry. You're still watching us here on Good Afternoon Ghana. We are very live and loud on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, Metro TV Ghana, also on Metro TV GH. Join us there, like, share, comment. Let's have a good show here this afternoon on the program. Good Afternoon Ghana. And so let me go to my studio guest here this afternoon. I mean, it's been a while we met, and I feel guilty. The first thing he said was, dog me. No, I'm not dog me yet. Good afternoon to you, and thanks so much for joining us here this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
We are grateful. I mean, when issues of budgets or the country's finance are mentioned, we can't do that without you and your outfit.
I'm humbled.
First of all, tell us, give us your general assessment of whatever you heard from the minister yesterday from the floor.
Well, my general assessment, right. I looked at his honesty in presentation, accepting where they had shortfalls, and then also presenting to us where they've made some gains and what they want to do. Figuratively, I saw a lot of figures to what the actions are, for actions that they wanted to do with targeted areas where they've sent some monies to the social interventions. I could see him giving me figures of how much has been released, which leaves a task between you and I to follow up and ensure that it is one thing allocating and it's as in disbursing, and then also it's another thing monitoring to see how the implementation have been done efficiently.
Right.
One thing also that I saw about the drive of anti-corruption issues around blocking the seepages and leakages was about the ghost names. The directive responsive action is that if you, the validation officer, sit back aloof and we record search, it will be surcharged to you.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the right direction. Also the reduction in port collections. And then he gave a responsive action that he was going to apply AI technology and other inputs that they were going to do. They're going to do staffing and also look at enhancing capacity of staff to look at what the shortfalls were, about some 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. They want to look at how they are going to work on that one.
I know you have a lot of points. I'll come back to you. That was just an initial submission. And so I'm here with Jeffrey Okansi. He is a tax expert and also executive director for Revenue Mobilization Africa. He's a big man. And he joins us here this afternoon in the studio. Now, let me come back to you. You were giving, I think you were your fourth or fifth point.
Yes, I was looking at some. I was quickly looking at the challenges within the fold that he spoke about. Sardonically, also we recorded some loss of 500 million cedis to the smuggling of marine gas oil. This is very, very sad. Yes. These are things that we are pumping into the areas of development, trying to expand industry, fisheries industry and other industries to make sure that we get some booms. And then when you get people smuggling it out of this country, that is what it hurts the economy. And then also you talked about the hike in wages and salaries on their wage bill because of like the late employments that were done. That you had the banter, some of it's happening in the Bank of Ghana and as well as the GRA, you know, and all these amounted to some 1.6 billion.
Right.
So all these amounts that he's mentioning are things that, you know, we've made some losses around. But then good news was that he actually spoke about their expenditure cuts. That saved us some amount of money, some good amount of about 133 billion, you know, cedis.
And this amount is only just in the past 6 months.
Yes, exactly.
So you can imagine how much money we will be able to gather in 4 years if this continues.
I have said on this my family platform in Metro that every day I say that our biggest problem, this country is a rich country. This country is never a poor country. Let no man lie to you. Kwame Nkrumah said it years ago, and I am supporting it. Ghana is not a poor country. We are only a poorly managed country. So we are poorly managed. That's the problem. We have a thinking problem. That's a problem. We think negatively instead of positively. If we start thinking like what we are seeing now, I'm not saying, if you ask me to award this government, I'll just give them between a 75 and 80. Because there's work to be done.
75 and 80%
yes.
is the number you give them,
I'll give them
as a percentage?
Yes.
That's huge.
I know why, because of the ticks. Okay, if you look at some of the things we spoke about, they engaged a lot of time with the CSOs and other groups. So what they are getting over there, they cannot take the clap alone. We did it with them. We had discussions with them. We told them some of the things we wanted to be done. For example, if you were looking in the areas of education, some of the things we told them about, to restructure the scholarship scheme, also school feeding projects, and uncapping the GET fund. You remember these ones we were talking about, uncapping the NHI levy, uncapping the District Assembly Common Fund. These were the special purpose vehicles that you earmarked to serve a purpose.
Right.
How do you go forward and go and cap them again? You saw that you had shortfalls in education. So you said, look, let me create a special fund for education. So how do you go back and dip your hands into the same, you know, so if once you've done that, all we have to look at again is like we look at the areas where, you know, there should be further engagement. We had engagement before with political parties before they wrote their manifestos. They spoke about their manifestos. We saw some of our issues in there. One has emerged, the winner. That's the government of the day. So we are following cleverly with all the things that they have promised. And if you look through some of the projects that the areas they are looking at, like the corridor, the Volta Corridor project, is one thing. The Volta Economic Corridor project which is actually aimed at reviving some of the things that Nkrumah planned to do with that enclave. It's marvelous. It looks at creating industrial parks. It looks at irrigation projects for farmers along the chain belt. It also looks at tourism opportunities. Look, I did some work with ILO many years ago, about 5-6 years ago. It was technically clear, and it exists factually, that these three sectors, agric, tourism, and construction, provides the lengthiest and expanded employment, like it or not. And so the big push, those road constructions, for example, a contractor, just guess what number of employees he's going to be looking at. Right from foreman to the carpenters, if you were constructing a road, even the gutters alone, the laborers, the foremen, the carpenters, the steel benders. So usually that's why it confuses when governments are giving their figures of creating employment. They are direct and indirect employment. So the chain of indirect employment is what the ILO looked at in the research for Ghana and said to us that construction, agriculture, and tourism would be the potential areas to expand and make the profit. Look, in tourism, my brother, the Leaf Waterfalls, the Buti Waterfalls, the Fajato Mountains, you didn't put it there respectfully. I didn't put it there. It's there. You need to create the environment, the ambience, and then create the roads to that place for people to go and see them and pay you money. The forest you are destroying, if you kept it there, people will come and watch the animals in Mole Park and the rest and give you money. How beautiful is that? The Egyptian economy nearly collapsed during Corona because people were not touring that area. An economy like Egypt's economy, that booming economy, depends on tourism. And look at your area. Look at Ghana. In Accra, in most of our regions, there's a lot to see. So again, the big push projects, we're looking about the industrial expansion. And then also, he also spoke about their exploring of the revenue jumps. They're going to be looking at how they are going to explore revenue generation in the next few years to go. But I tell you, I've always told them about the night and dawn economy, which mine merges with theirs of 24-hour economy. When I heard the 24-hour economy, I was so pleased because I was one of the persons with my colleague Dr. Ampabin that we spoke in 2019 on one of your sister stations about, I spoke about the night and dawn economy, that people do their business at night. You know, people sell at Circle, and comparatively, the two groups of sellers, those who are selling in the morning, you and I, we are rushing to work. How many of us can stop and buy? But at 5:30 p.m., when we get to Circle, they are there.
I mean, it's even more active than the morning market.
Exactly. So you go to La Paz and the rest, they are doing night market sales. Also, night market was there as young as I was in those days. So it's always been there. And people cut goods to the big markets, big loads of plantain cassava in about 50,000, 70,000 range and 80,000, big truck. They bring it there, they offload to their sub-sellers. And they will not wait for you to come for your money. You need to be there to create the ambience, security. That's what you can easily talk about, the 24-hour economy he's talking about. The incentives are to provide security, parking lots, and have parking guards, and then have the GRA officials there as well to check them and make sure we collect. And the informal sector, the construction sector, I've made proposals that there are artisans, skilled workers, like carpenters, there are masons, there are Andre and T&J workers. They are working at 3 or 4, 5 sites at the same time. They make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. They roof one building at 40,000, 60,000, 80,000. And if there are 3 buildings and they are roofing at the same time, that's a lot of money. How do we get to track them? They always say it's difficult to track them. I give them an option. When the contractor is going for the building permit, for a particular building, let's say a self-contained, a 3-bedroom self-contained, the architect and the rest of the artisans over there can just tell you that the X number of blocks will be needed to build this building. You can strike an average and have a flat rate for the basin over there to pay from the labor that he's going to get. From the laborers on the site, just a little average for them. And then, look, the laborers at that site, if you calculate what they are getting by day, if they were getting, and you go by the minimum wage, at some sites, if they were getting 100 Ghana cedis, calculated by the 20 days, that's some 2,000 cedis already. And if you even minimize and come to 1,000 Ghana, they are getting more than those persons who are actually working on the Zoom Lion or any government agencies. I know people who are working at government agencies and security persons who are taking less than 500 cedis, lower than the belt of minimum threshold. So if you look at these balances, these persons are supposed to be paying taxes. They are in the informal sector. Put the permit range regime there and tweak it a little bit. You get them there. Property rate is there. Rent taxes are there. If we apply it to the fullest, we'll be making good returns.
Another conversation is the COVID tax and
right.
why government is here to scrap it. But
right.
I also saw some documents that is suggesting government also use that COVID tax to fund the Mahama Care. What do you make of it?
Well, I look at the COVID as where the honesty ball is being played. Let's play the honesty ball. Roll it. If it backs like a dog, it's a dog. I mean, it's either you've removed it or it's there.
It's there.
The honesty card is that it's still there. Okay, so
but it was, you see, it was one of the main conversations during campaign season.
Right.
One of the main conversations, together with the e-levy and the rest.
So you realize that I didn't give them 100%.
What percentage was it? What did you give to them?
I gave them 75%. I'm looking at tracking it between 75 and 80%. So it's a mark. I'm careful looking at some of the issues that are still outstanding. Okay, more like an issue like the VAT. You actually you reviewing the VAT, to expunge the NHI levy and then cover it from that list of items. I mean, this is an outstanding task that they have to do. The 24-hour economy, you can see they've presented to us a lovely thing. They are putting plans in place. They've launched.
Would it be bad for the COVID-19 tax to be maintained?
It's not bad.
And to be used for the Mahama Care Fund.
So I'm with you. And I'm with you totally because I've, on this platform...
I'm only asking the question.
I'm saying it's not bad. So technically, it's a tax, a purposive tax you brought for a mission. Okay? So in technical terms, it has outlived its use.
Yes.
So technically, it becomes a nuisance tax. It's there, it's finished its duty, you put it out. So whilst you have to pull it out, some of us from a school of thoughts have said that, why don't you repurpose it? Take it through parliamentary, tweaking and repurpose it and ensure that constitutionally you actually uphold and satisfy all constitutional righteousness.
Right.
And ensure that it becomes another thing. So like I told you early on, right now it's backing, so it's a dog. It's outlived its use. So it's a nuisance tax. But when you retook it and rename it, you can use it for not only the Mahama care, but then my colleagues and I, some of us, we thought initially when we had not gotten a special allocation to NCDs, we're looking at it going specifically to be earmarked for NCDs. But now that we've had 20% of the NHIL actually allocated to the special health care under Mama Eka, which will take care of the NCDs, then it becomes possible to look at my sister organization, Send Foundation. They have actually opted that we could have the Health Emergency Fund.
Health Emergency Fund. What will that take care of?
So, like Corona itself came, if we were prepared and we had this fund sitting, we could have done something with it. So if you had that money, it doesn't mean you can use anything. You can be investing it for some time.
So it will be in waiting of an emergency, health-wise.
Health-wise, health emergency. Anytime there's anything, God forbid, like Ebola or COVID, you should have some certain fund that can quickly, in the immediate, mobilize something for you to start something. You don't sit back and wait for other people. We've been begging too much. We've been begging too much. We should have some, like we had the Heritage Fund. So have some funding sitting down to buffer you. You realized that yesterday when the minister was speaking, he spoke about creating some buffer, so if you create those buffers, it helps you to actually manage emergencies. Emergencies will always come once you are doing things about human beings. There could be emergencies any day. So if the liability management operations to evaluate this and manage our debt, we need to do all these things.
But you see, creating a buffer isn't bad.
Yeah.
But probably regulation, signatories, that's where the issue really is. I know.
I get your fear.
Before, one way or the other, been told exactly a part of the Deloitte finding from the National Cathedral release, an amount of money that was donated through Momo, by Ghanaians. But after a research and all that, it's not even half or even quarter of how much money that was really given by people. Meaning the money that was given by people, we don't even know where it went to. And this money was there for the construction of the National Cathedral. How do we even regulate these buffers to make sure that we are not being told a different figure, but you're going there and then there's nothing there as well?
I share your concerns, I share your pain, and I know you know very well how my stance has been on corruption. I understand you, the misapplication. They would like to use what? Misappropriation. They like to use what? Well, I sometimes don't get gentle with them. That's stealing. It is stealing and wastage. It is. People steal our money. People steal our money. They stole our money. What happened at National Service Secretariat? It's clear stealing. Using ghost names to take our money, that's stealing. So again, I'll tell you, I can understand your fear because persons will pay taxes, contribute the monies. We earmark them for certain purposes.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, to create these buffers I'm talking about, and then what happens? In the implementation, in the use, application of these resources, people take advantage and then they actually reap us of what was supposed to be used for good things for us. So you are very right. But that is where we can look at this government and ask them, are you going to be staying good like this? I want to ask them, are they going to be doing this one? And be accountable to us.
Not to put salt in anybody's soup or whatever.
Yeah.
Any days yet.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying, so that's why we have to be watching, because they're doing what I'll call some magic. They're doing some magic. I've not heard any scandal yet. Okay? And I'm a positivist. So I like to pray for those who are doing the right thing. I'm a Catholic. When we go to church, we say, pray for me, my brothers and sisters. I ask for you to pray for me. Right. I pray for you as well. I pray. If you were to hear every time that we've come to sit around the table and government has paid Eurobond holders 700 million, we are clearing our debts, okay? Government, the domestic debt exchange, government has cleared some of the debts. Okay, if this were the things you were hearing, Obechebi phase 2 and the rest, all these things you are hearing, but there's one thing you have to be careful about.
Oh my goodness.
You heard?
I'm smiling.
No.
I'm being told in my ears that I shouldn't forget the fact that contractors have not been paid, but media budgets have been read.
Right, so you see, government is a continuum. So I cannot defend this government why they've not paid maybe contractors. But let me ask you to know one thing. Between...
I mean, sorry to cut you.
Right.
This is some of the same issue that I remember when GM Bank suffered a liquidation issue and the license was revoked. We heard Dr. Anum saying that, listen, it was the same government that I loaned money to for construction. I've never been paid, and I'm back to liquidation, and I've been actually shut down.
So I'll tell you this.
We had all this conversation. We had all of this.
So I'll tell you this. If you listen to what the minister has said so far, some of the things that wowed you is why the contractors have been affected. Yet, as we speak here, on the IMF loan alone, between January 1st and January 6th, you saw how much was disbursed. About 4.5 billion already disbursed. I mean, how could that magic happen? Magically. So you were expecting that some of these people who undertook these projects were going to be doing some prudent actions. But let me tell you what. When the minister was reading yesterday, my stomach turned to the wrong direction when he said that some of the contracts that were awarded for no work done, that people have been paid for no work done. There were places where people have done no work, but then they've been given money. They've been given money.
And those who are actually working have not been given the money.
And some of the contractors have added expansions to their project scope without going back to Parliament for approval. So you see, I'm not defending this government, but I tell you what, there's one thing, government is a continuum, yes, but everybody as an individual, you have your name, I have my name. We cannot say Metro TV. In Metro, somebody is interviewing me right now.
Exactly.
If you go wrong, your authorities will come and explain. Okay, but it doesn't leave you out.
Exactly.
You must be held responsible for your actions and inactions. Like I told you again, I'm a Catholic. I mean, for what I've done and what I've failed to do. So some people have done, that is, they have committed corruption. Some people have failed to do. The validating officials who were supposed to be monitoring and evaluating these contractors, where were they? Said that we have a Palugu Dam taking our $11-point-something million with no work done. Palugu, the place is bare. The site is bare. $2 million gone. No sky train. I came to your studio. I'm seeing your risers.
I also saw a couple of people on social media who were commenting and saying that one of the reasons why they even walked from their homes to go and vote during December was because oral was a lead conversation.
Right.
You know, it was a lead conversation. As of now, names have been mentioned. People have been fingered. You know, accusations have been made. Legal cases are happening. But what is happening to justice and recouping and taking back what is owed by the what is owned by the country? If you speaking about the fact that, I mean, government monies went into construction, people were paid, work wasn't done, and these people are still working out there free.
So I'm not a lawyer, but I'll tell you, like, we've been made to know that the wheels of justice grind slowly. I have always said, for me, I'm not always mad about or a fanatic about jailing the people. I want to recoup my money.
No, but you just
so
don't take
when
the
you
money.
go to the court,
you take them, let them
yes, so
probably suffer the wrath of it as well.
So every time I look at my money first, I want to get my money. Because I've also noticed something, that in the end, if we are not careful, there will be a situation where they will tell us that they are not able to pay when their assets are sitting down, and then they'll go to jail. And
That's not why we do our asset declaration.
Exactly.
So we know what you had before it came to pass.
So that's why I look at it from this direction, that new vibe with the asset declaration, follow up the rules. And that should guide us to be able to actually seize assets from these officials who take advantage of our funds. Okay? And my bit is always to look at the assets first. Look at the scenario where we are told that 60% of payments have been done by the Unibank, I think so, the officials from there. And the Attorney General is discontinuing the case. You see some of the discussions that is going on. A lot of people thinking that, look, hey, they still think, I mean, but I think for me, my bias is that I think I'll go with the Attorney General to quickly look at options where we can get the 40% remaining.
That is your bias.
Yes, so I will not, my energy is not at where to jail them. My energy is where I'm getting my money. What are they going to do to get me my money? Okay? So, for example, if I'm in a discussion with somebody around the Poalugu Dam, I want to see my $11 million. I want to see my $2 million for the SkyTrain. Okay? You know, some of them came up and told the Attorney General so far that they would make some payments. You know, the National Service Secretariat, they came back, they were ready to pay about $500 million or something. I want my money first. The rest of you can also, you know, let's share the job. I want to focus on getting my money. I really want the money first. And I think the process of justice, that is technical, that, you know, they will look at the years, the punitive years. I still want to see us do some good effort work around oral and recouping our money. Be ahead of the election. I was on my Facebook page. I was on my anti-corruption platforms with my CSOs. A lot of them at the CSOs tax forum and everything will tell you, my cry has always been for us to recoup what has been taken from us. And I was using the right word, what have been stolen from us. Because we didn't give you $11 million for you to give us a plain ground.
Right.
Yeah, so, I look at the city sinking fund. You know, I think it's a buffer that they're going to create that I'm thinking is a positive thing. But like you have also cautioned, I think I'll go with your caution as well, that when we amass all these monies, we shouldn't hear cases like 55 projects, stalked. You know, 55 projects stalks,
if funds are released for these projects and we don't see them through, and we come back and say that somebody who was in charge of it has probably like spent the money on buying cars and buying houses.
Yes.
So you are now going back to, you see, and like the question is, what happened to regular audits? Don't we do audit? Why do we always end up waiting for probably end of a tenure?
The irony is that within most of these institutions, there are internal auditors. Okay, before the external auditors come in. Okay, so you wonder how they are able to
siphon money.
Dribble,
like that.
You know, so our procurement systems. I heard the minister talking about efforts at improving our procurement systems, and I think it's a time to clap for Imani. They've wasted a lot of energy. They've put in a lot of energy. I've heard Franklin Kujo, my brother and mate, talk about it over and over again about how we should look at our procurement system. So I was happy when His Excellency John Mahama spoke about efforts at actually making sure they would look at procurement systems. And also yesterday, let me add quickly, when they spoke about the fact that they are going to be quoting most of these contracts in cedis. No more in dollars.
I think that was my highlight personally.
Exactly.
The fact that we are now thinking of bringing it home.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. You are coming to our house to
eat.
eat.
In cities.
You eat what we have. So it's a perfect thing. We should quote these ones in cities. When there's any fluctuation, it doesn't affect anything, and then you have to, with the resilience of the city as it goes right now. I also looked at the ESLA, the one Ghana city that we were going to be paying. I think it's good that the government initially reviewed it and brought it at a time when they had engaged a little bit on it. And I'll use this humbling opportunity to call on our Minister of Finance to continue what he started with the market women. He said when he engaged the market women yesterday in his speech that he got from them that the forex issue, as in the rate of exchange and pricing, was their issues that they flogged on the table, two issues, major issues around the table. So I think he should do further engagements. When I heard that the imported exporters were looking for, space to input in this very process, the engagement, I think he should, accelerate pace at engaging the various umbrella groups and ensure that he keeps faith with them so that most of these good things that he is doing, we can be measured. But I told you, we have a task. We have a long task to look at the big push, the 24-hour economy, and all the things he has stated. It is now that we have to. The first budget announced the allocations that they were going to make.
Right.
Now we've seen disbursements. He spoke about disbursing to the level 100 free education thing, the free fee payments for level 100
students.
And we saw the videos around when the nursing training colleges also received theirs, and then also teacher training colleges. All these we have to be taking. Where we find a problem, but personally, I'll tell you what. I have my own resentment.
You seem to be excited about the government.
No, about the policies. Look.
No, but the policies are being implemented by the government.
Exactly. But I want to see it as the CSO angle. The things that we actually were pushing. So as a people, we wanted you to make sure that the GET fund works to its fullest. So uncap the GET fund. We didn't hear scrabbles. We didn't hear stories. You uncapped it. You uncapped NHIL. You have actually removed the e-levy. You have removed the betting tax. So it is me to say that I have a social contract with you. And when you listen to politicians, they said, we are the employers. So if we are the employers, governments are for the people, by the people, and of the people. So if we give you what we want and you are doing it, we'll be fine. When just yesterday, when we didn't like the 1 cedi and the way it was implemented, we spoke about it. And so they reviewed it. They went to the boardroom and came back because I understood it. But if they had done further engagements, I'm sure it would have been better. So they did those engagements to include COPEC and the rest of the oil marketing companies. Right. And all of a sudden, they brought it back that people are now even sort of sounding like they are defending government. But no, they are saying that, look, if the prices were around 16 per litre, and now I find myself around amounts below 13 per litre, and even though I'm paying the 13 per litre, I'm able to be paying something that will be amassed to pay off the energy sector debt. I mean, by buying crude and the rest, we need about $1.3 million. But as we speak, we've been told by the gatekeeper that if we were to pay the real energy cost, that means whatever you are paying now, if you were paying 1,000 cedis, you are supposed to be paying 1,500 cedis because 50% have been absorbed by government. So these are the discussions why we are sounding like we are okay. But anytime that we think that, like I told you, I started with the challenges where the minister himself accepted that they've made some shortfalls around the port savings. There are still some loopholes that people were exploring around the $500 million Ghana cedis lost to that marine oil alone. So there are challenges still existing, and that is why I've told you that I'm not going to give them the 100%. I'm staying with that 15% is about going back to bring policy documents and policy explanations to the work they are doing, engaging from the grassroots levels, letting people, the average Ghanaian should understand why we paid the 1 cedi and know what it's being used for. A CDD report indicated that 80% of Ghanaians were ready to pay more taxes, if only
See, that's what the problem is. If you ask somebody, why don't you want to pay tax? Oh, if I pay the tax, where does the money go?
Exactly.
I don't see my roads being fixed.
Exactly.
I mean, my water is still getting short.
Exactly.
And all
So government must create the decorous space, the dialogic engagement platforms to explain to the people what you are doing. It's like I've given you my taxi to work with it. How do you tell me that once the taxi is going and coming, I should be rest assured that we are fine? No. You need to come home every day with your sales and tell me what's going on with the vehicle as well. Tell me even who you have contracted to repair my vehicle.
Exactly.
I mean, not
so
just
you have
it's a mechanic.
Details about the
exactly. So I don't find myself wanting. So at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why are people happily, gloriously paying their tithes in church, but they scrabble, they shake when they are going to pay taxes?
Jeffrey, let me ask you about this question.
Right.
I mean, the minister also spoke about the fact that they've now worked on the coordination between the Bank of Ghana and the Finance Ministry. You are smiling to that question. How important is this coordination?
It is technical. It is in fact, it is holy. It is clean for your reserve to always sync with the expending side. You are making sure that you have projects running, you are doing all the things. There should be somebody telling you, look, this is what we have. This is the buffer I'm creating, okay? Like, this is what we have as a country. This is what we need to be building on. And then the Bank of Ghana sits in the chest. How much gold do we have in the Bank of Ghana sitting down? Go and ask what reserves Britain and America has. Some of them who don't even have gold in their land. So it tells you the initiative, that you need to have them speaking almost the same language.
Exactly.
And almost doing that collaborative work. Sardonically, early on, there were some breakouts where you could see that the next answers people were talking about how monies were just,
it was more of like an expression of power.
Exactly. I think the reason why you see some of my senior economists and also the analysts trying to speak, and you think that they are speaking for government, is that there were things we had talked about. When you speak to the issue and you list the items and it is played aside, when something is done about it, you feel vindicated. So I won't take it away. It is that feeling of feeling vindicated that, look, we were saying this, that there should be some sync between the work at the Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance to ensure that our forex front is working perfectly. And now you can see it. The results are clear.
Let me take you some of the reforms, you know, that was stated by the Finance Minister in the House yesterday. It says COVID-19 levy will be abolished, which I told you earlier. There are some recommendations for the levy to be used for to help the Mahama care.
Right.
You know, and also the effective VAT rate will be reduced. The punitive cascading effects of the GET Fund and NHIS levies will be removed. VAT flat rate will be removed, and a unified VAT will be implemented. The VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses, which is quite important.
Yeah.
Number 5 says the VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses. It's like giving them room to also, it also grow. I'll let you comment on that. Yeah. But let's go to the next one. It says compliance will be improved through public education, awareness creation, and the introduction of fiscal electronic devices. Let's first speak about where it says the VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses. Then we can speak about the introduction of fiscal electronic devices.
Right. At that point, I'll even take a quick one to appeal to the Minister of Finance. As he's doing for the small businesses, it's important to note also that same should be applied for the personal income tax payment.
Right.
You know? So this is the company income tax. So that's for CIT. The uplifting of the threshold for the CIT to actually free some of those slim-muscled companies, you know.
Some of them are suffering.
Exactly.
All they need is, like, just give them grounds to work.
Trust me. Some businesses cannot, pay taxes. For now, we need to just grow them, but we should keep good records on them, so that once we exempt them, we should have them in the system. There should be there's a sync now between the GRA and the Registrar General's Department, the Registrar of Companies. So that sync should create that data system for us to know who and who we are giving the grants to if we have incentives to give. But who and who we are giving the rebates, like increasing this threshold, who and who, which companies are going to be affected, should be on the system to know. So that next time when we monitor them, they can know how much they are making, so that we can, if there's a way of monitoring, there should be a proper way of monitoring, so we just don't throw it out and get nothing back, you know. And then also to extend it to the tax-free threshold, to be extended to the personal income tax, where it affects workers. So once you expand that one, workers who are getting below the minimum wage is what you put the threshold for. But I think when you lift it, now we are working around 490 Ghana cedis, which actually doesn't make economic sense to me, actually, in all my humility and respectfully, if we could raise it a little bit to about 700 Ghana cedis. Because, bro, if you are talking about somebody who's working and has to take care of their wife and 2 children, that's what we are talking about here. So if somebody is taking about 500 cedis and has husband and wife are both, some of the time, even the one taking 500 cedis, their wives don't get anything doing, actually. You know, some of them even have their spouses down who are sick, suffering from that reason why you created the Mahama Care. You know, I know people who are sick and incapacitated. They were workers, but they've lost their jobs because they are of ill health, and they have to be paying and going for dialysis. So that is why when you think that, you may not understand where I'm coming from. But passionately, let me appeal to you and tell you the truth. I was only 9 years when my daddy got stroke. So my mother was around taking care of the 5 children, myself and my 4 big sisters. We have stories to tell. So whenever I go for the NCD's meetings, I tell them, some of us are carrying overload of stories. So if you heard for a parent like this, that one worker is getting 500 cedis with an incapacitated wife or husband and has about 2 or 3 children to take care of, how can they survive on 500 cedis? So that's why, and if you have to go and tax it because it's above the minimum wage, then that's a problem. So when you increase the threshold to about 700, or 800, you can free these ones, and then they'll still be paying indirect taxes anyway, but then the direct tax can be lowered on them. And I think if we are able to do that, it will bring some sort of loosening space for our taxpayers.
Right.
But it won't be for free, because at the end of the day, we get to expand the tax base.
I was just coming to the mode of taxation, you know,
Right.
where we've been talking about going to the informal sector to find a way to get more, you know, some extra money in addition to the formal ones that actually go through their salaries and all of that.
Right.
How do we do it? How do we ensure that people who are in the informal sector also pay something?
Yeah.
You know, even if it's not the same amount of money that you're taking from the formal sector, at least some inflows come from there.
And you know, when you mention the informal sector, some people might be thinking you are talking about just the woman who is selling the kinky in a small restaurant, something. No. We're talking about some of them being lawyers, some of them skilled carpenters who get big contracts.
Yes, those
artisans
that doesn't go through
who are doing big gates and things at certain corners in the country. Some of them, a few people will be willing to go and walk and comply and pay tax. So the rest of the people, you need to go for them and discuss with them, giving it a human face. In our advocacy, we propose the relationship officers, the toll-free lines and things that the GRA has done. So it's about moving out there, discussing payments with them, and ensuring that they are all caught in the net. How do we do that? You have to be working with umbrella union bodies, you know, and those like, if, for example, you're talking about chartered accountants who are working privately. I mean, the Chartered Institute of Accountants and CA Ghana or something, and then Bankers Association. These are the big associations that you need to be dealing with so that you are able to track how many of their members are honoring their tax obligations. And if you went to the construction industry, how many of the contractors are on board so that you can meet them, they have associations, meet them and ensure that as they pay, the people they engage also pay, as in they withhold the taxes for you.
How easy will it be
for
government or the finance minister or the military to say, we are going to go towards this line? You know,
it's
speak
very
to the
easy.
people.
The law exists for everybody else who is doing business to pay taxes within
So
some
this is more
threshold.
like a personal conviction.
It's actually got to do with the laws, the tax laws. So there's a laws on withholding taxes, VAT. Okay, so if the people at your workplace, you're going to be paying them, you are contracting somebody to come and do the T&J works, and he's taking about 60,000 from you, automatically he should be paying the 7.5.
But you see, if these persons are also not willing and out of the goodness of their hearts, quoting the right amount of money that have actually either gone or coming, then you don't end up finding how much money.
Exactly why I told you when you are going for your permit for the construction of that facility, it should be on as one of the requirements. So that's what I've been proposing to the GRA.
Right.
So on the permit, you know exactly we are going to build a 5-bedroom house, a story building. You know that this X amount of artisans are going to be there, electricians, you're going to have a mason, you're going to have a carpenter, you're going to have those guys who are going to be doing the T&J works, tilers, you know them. And then if you bring an estimate person here, he stands here, he will tell you straight away. He'll tell you that, look, you need about X number of blocks to do this work, X number of tiles to do this work. And then to start with, we can just have a flat rate for them. Whilst we walk ahead to go and do the real estimation and take the money. To start, we can do the estimate, and do some flat rate for these artisans I've talked about, and then ensure that they pay with the permit system. When they pay through the permit system, we'll be fine. So, I mean, that's for the construction industry alone. So, I've told you about how the Chartered Institute of Ghana will help us with the CA Ghana people. I've told you about how the Bar Association can help us with lawyers who are in private practice. So, all these ones, when you synchronize all these ones and check, that's why the NIA has a... You see, one of the things we have to do as a country is how we network the various agencies in their work. NIA marrying, work with a registered general department, marrying with GRA.
So it's easier to follow a certain queue.
Yes.
You know, to check all these things.
In another country, when a child is born, we are taking care of a child. Here we are giving free education, giving that, and we are going. When the person is 18, automatically there should be a system from the NIA that tells DVLA that Kwame Pepra is qualified for driver's license now. It should be automatic.
I mean, in some jurisdictions, it's even part of your school curriculum.
Exactly.
Where a driving lesson is supposed to be taken, not even for you walking to the DVLA.
By the time he gets there, passport office can even send a prompt to that person. You are 18 or this, you are entitled to this.
Yes.
So then it prompts you. These are the things that would make you know that the system is actually working. So in another thing, I would like us to see the GRA do is tax education. Maximum efforts should be in the area of tax communication and education. Because if you look at tax education, it works that you have to be using it even in our curriculum. Talk to people about tithes, and they are paying tithes in churches. So when you talk to them about tax and let them know what the taxes
understand
are
what
using,
it is.
they understand, and they should know how it works even from the secondary level. We tighten it up in the tertiary level. Then they can know. Look, let me tell you what, compliance comes with education when you are aware.
I'm being asked to go for a very quick break. But when I come back, I want to think of this question. Now, the fact that, I mean, the minister says money on some goods, like something like parts for women, has seen decrease. But people also say, listen, the amount of money you are mentioning as the new amount of that product is still the same. And so why did you get this information from saying that there's been a decrease in, let's say, sanitary parts? Let's think of it, and probably let's ask ourselves, did he really go to the market to speak to them? You know, or really, it was just about the first conversation he had, or the first encounter he had with the market women that came with this new updates. And probably come back, you give me more updates on what exactly the Defense Minister also said in Parliament yesterday. So don't you go anywhere. We're still here on Good Afternoon, Ghana. I'm here with Jeffrey Okansi, a tax expert and also the Executive Director of the Revenue Mobilization Africa, here with me here on Good Afternoon, Ghana. Don't go anywhere. We'll come back with more conversation about the Minister in Parliament, Honorable Kisla Tuforson, reading Ghana's budgets and review. We are back.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enye. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby cot. In fact, bibia opama umanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Krom KFC. Contact us on 059-6377-172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye-bye.
The 2025 AMC Tycoon Africa Conference for us presents a unique opportunity for convergence. Convergence of ideas and innovation, convergence of marketing excellence and technological advancement, and most importantly, a convergence of people united by shared vision for a prosperous, connected, and empowered Africa. We are proud as your host, and to the guests who will be arriving from all corners of the continent and the world. I'm also excited with the theme, Enabling Africa Tech, Future Innovation, Standard and Global Influence, and Empowering Africa Marketing industries. Let me assure you, Ghana is ready to welcome you with our open arms and our open hearts. And we say Akwaba. Akwaba means welcome. We don't just say it, but we live it. We are warm, we're friendly, and very hospitable. Ghana is not just a destination, it is an experience. From the historic castles along our coast, that speaks of our resilience. The resilience of our people, our cuisine, the richness. When visitors come to Ghana, we will immerse you not only with our sight and sound, but our taste of our rich, unmatched cuisine. Ghana is where
I mean, we're still having some very interesting conversations here on sets, even on break. There was some very insightful discussions here. Myself and Jeffrey, you can't say, who's a tax expert. Before we went for the break, my question to him was, parts. I don't, forgive me, I know it's a very hot afternoon.
Yeah.
But just look within yourself and ask yourself, why are condoms almost free? Almost free, because even some places they are given to persons for free, and it's one's decision to agree to be engaged in sexual intercourse, but it's nobody's decision to whether to say yes or no to menstruation.
Yeah,
and that rather has tax on it, which we are refusing to talk about, even after all the consultations, the demonstrations, the conversations. We're still acting like it's okay to have tax on sanitary pads. Where we know that even in some rural areas, young girls are not going to school because they cannot afford pads, so they will stay home rather than go to school.
Right. So you're right. I mean, with the issue of taxing menstrual pads, I wonder why you were asking to be pardoned. It's an issue. We can
I don't offend anybody because
no. Nobody can be offended. Nobody born of a woman should be offended. Something that affects my mother, my sisters, something that affects the whole community. It is the flow is a monthly flow. The poor people, the rich people, whether you are rich or poor, you flow once you are at that age. And as we speak today, people must know that children as young as 9, 10 years have started experiencing their flow already. Okay? So it means that if you were rich or poor and you had 4 or 5 children, I told you about my story that I had 4 big sisters. So what about those who had about 3 female children and the mother themselves, no husband, a widow? She has to be buying parts for 3 people, including herself. Out of that 700 cedis I told you, or less. Do you get me? I'm saying somebody who is earning about 600 cedis a month, a mother, earning 600 cedis a month, somewhere outside Accra, somewhere in the hard-to-reach areas, or even in Accra, urban poverty also exists. And she is getting 600 cedis. Out of the 600, the children, they won't flow at the same time. So intermittently, she has 3 children. She can maybe have 4 or 5 girls, and including herself. She has to buy parts for them. So that's how technical, how economically diabolic the effect of the unavailability of funds to have access. I'm saying this and I'm passionate about it because some people were poo-pooing when government said they were going to give free parts to girls. If you knew as a fellow from Africa Education Watch, what our research showed, how many girls were missing class contact hours just because they could not come to school, because they are flowing. And some soil themselves, and they are embarrassed with the sort of tease and attacks and harassment that they got for spoiling themselves.
Well, using
and what they used
plantain
to
leaves.
Exactly
Dry plantain leaves,
leading them to several infections and other diseases. So it was a serious issue. And let me take it on a lighter note, just not to jump my heart around. I mean, in one of the discussions we had, a pre-budget discussion we had with the previous finance minister, Honorable Ofori-Atta, when I called and mentioned for the removal of taxes for menstrual pads, then he bent over and asked Honorable Abena what was the which part am I talking about? You know, it told you at the time. Then Madame Abna told him that, you know, it was in their manifesto. So we had actually made inroads to get the political parties to put it in their manifesto. But then at the point, we were calling as a group for the removal of taxes for menstrual pad. But myself and a few of us also went further in economic thinking, that it was prudent to rather think about removing the taxes from locally manufactured parts. So it benefits industry as well in here, so that if you remove it from the locally manufactured ones, it gives them economic strength over the ones that are going to be imported. So in economic nationalism, you empower the local production base. As we are going on right now, that the current government has spoken about producing, making sure that they give free parts to students in schools. It is the case that people are arguing that these parts, and I join my voice where I've stood always, that it should be locally manufactured so that we grow that industry. And it's clear. But I told you, and I'll still repeat, that when you remove the taxes, because we have a free market in operation as a country, you realize that yesterday the minister mentioned that 25 Ghana cedis was the old price, and that currently is sold at 15 Ghana cedis. I can't attest to defend that one. I'm not.
No, but even without you even attempting to defend it or going with it, there are people who are saying that listen,
it's a different pricing.
It's still the same price, and some are even more, like the tampons and all that.
So as we speak, we need to listen to the minister again yesterday when he called and appealed to the traders and business owners to look at also ensuring that the benefits that they are raking from this forex gains and also the management of the economy reflects in their pricing. Okay, so that we can have the gains floated across board, that the consumers also will be relieved. I think the minister should take a second further step and work through the associations, like, through the trader associations, like GUTA, like FABA, because I heard the GUTA boss, when they met with the GRA boss, when they engaged, saying that they were going to look at their prices to ensure that the economic gains affects consumers positively. So I think in this call, I would think that if it's still anything to go, because of our free marketing, don't be surprised that you get this pricing going for about 20 Ghana cedis, or 21 Ghana, or 23 Ghana cedis, which will be a slight reduction, but maybe it might not be 15 Ghana. But also don't be surprised, because the parts, they have grades. So that is where, let us guide ourselves with two things. The free market system that is in operation. Then also, let's look at the issue of type of part you are using. Because if you go on the market right now, there are type of parts. There are low cost, in fact, the ones that they are lowly costed a bit, that will even maybe be around 15 or even less. But if you are talking about
from the little I know, I mean, I'm not sound like
I'm vested. I got the information. I was, and salute to Amenya McCaffrey Aidan. She has been one of the people, and so we have even the reusable parts.
Yes, I was coming there.
We have the
usually probably. They may buy the parts depending on how heavy the flow is.
Exactly. No, beyond that one, we have the light flow and the heavy flow, okay? The pack of three and the rest.
Educate me.
And so those ones, so there are grades. Just like the Pampers, you have grades.
Right.
The brand comes with a cost. So if for example, you're going for a particular brand, you may even maybe exceed the 25 Ghana,
but at least,
averagely.
But at least if I know that last week I was buying it for 30 cedis, at least this week should be about 25 cedis.
It should show something.
So let me know that at least there's a decrease in it.
Yes.
But if there's none, and I'm being told there is,
so that's where I told you that because of the free market we are operating. Have you tried the free market craze in Accra? I've tried it in my neighborhood in Dome, on the streets. I try buying things and they fluctuate and change shop to shop.
Yes.
You go here, you want to buy a pen. And the pen, the prices, this one is cheaper. In shop A, is cheaper. In shop B, is expensive. Shop C is quite higher.
It's more, yeah.
Then you go for another product. In shop C, it is cheaper. And it reflects in the same opposite. So the free market affects, and also, like I told you, it depends on the brand type you want to use. But all that said, I think there should be a further discussion between the Minister of Education, finance, and the various umbrella groups, and then also
gender should be part of it.
You know, once upon a time in the history of this country, traders are able to even manage their prices and say, look, we are doing this to support government.
Yeah.
So engaging and letting them know, but also let's also know that they also have stocks. You know, some of them large stocking. So the box
months
stocking.
ago.
So if some, even last year, you know, like we were in a situation where people were not able to buy. So those who were not maybe able to buy, as in the retailers, maybe they bought lately in this year from the wholesalers at the same price. So now it's on the retailers, and they have to maybe be applying these prices. But then if you have a further good discussion with them and appeal to their conscience, they might look at the gains they are getting from their business operation, and then maybe slash prices a little bit for you.
I know that when it comes to the taxation on parts, my very good friend Lily Pelbabo too.
Right.
I mean, I remember when the former government was in power, she even had a meeting with the gender ministry and all that.
Okay.
You know, and she was even given an award for championing that conversation. But
yeah,
to what end? To what end? We talk, and nothing happens.
And it's a serious matter.
We always talk and nothing happens.
So I think in our discussion right now, we should also look at the reusable parts, how they can be infused in between, but using very hygienic conditions, and then ensuring that the reusable parts are used. You know, because the government one that they're giving for free, these are for those in school. But the informal sector, I think maybe if there's a little bit help they can give to give those sisters who are porters in the markets, if they could give some support to them, those who are actually selling or maybe learning some skills, you know, informally. You know, the skills training, the TVET, there's a formal one that they will gain from the mainstream government one. I'm looking at those who are the apprentices who are learning from the various mastercraft persons. If we could extend something to them, you know, because of course, I'm sure they are also affected in some areas in Ghana where maybe they are not able to buy the parts. Maybe they will miss training sessions about 1 or 2 days just because, you know, and the health consequences also stand.
We have just about 5 minutes to wrap up, but I want us to touch on this quick 2 things.
Right.
Then we can wrap up quickly, just in about 1 minute each and all that. Now, the budgets that was read yesterday also included the fact that government exceeded its, budgets for payroll due to the late recruitments last year. You remember what happened?
1.6 billion.
That's a lot of money.
That's a whole lot of money, yeah. But I, as a youth advocate, some of my young people in there, my heart was tweaking. I was a bit careful because I've always been crying about the 14% that we had on unemployment, and so I was in the middle.
You know, I understand, but see, I don't
the
think
proper things you have been done.
I don't think in a move to satisfy persons, we should be doing wrong to do that.
Gross disrespect for the rules was what happened, and I'm with you. I totally am with you. So when I heard the matter, I thought it could have been done properly by using the rules of engagement.
Right.
So again, we've gone down with a debt of about 1.6 billion that was hanging on the government's payroll budget. And I think totally that's the rule that has been given right now by the Minister of Finance. He said they have sent a circular, a directive to all the ministries, departments and districts. Before they engage, they should clear as the rules apply with the Ministry of Finance before they engage anybody. I think that is yesterday, that's why I told you that I heard him talk about problems and then the responsive actions that have been tabled that will be done. So like you heard about this losses that he spoke about. Again, let me jump to some the issue of the remodeling of the road fund. Because I was one of the people, and I'm still talking about bringing the road toll.
Let's make it briefly.
Yeah, so briefly, I think the remodeling of it to replace it's going to be replaced by the Ghana Road Maintenance Fund. So people were wanting to see what to collect the money and use it for.
A lot of adjoining streets.
Exactly.
One of the major causes of traffic on our road, the fact that
on motorway and then you are going there and then there's no street lights.
I'm telling you,
no ambulance on the road. There's no toll track on the road. So if for now you go by this one, the road maintenance and blah, blah, and it comes with the maintenance as saying you see the periodic maintenance of the road, you see the maintenance of the street lights around that place, and you see some tow tracks on the highways. I think that will bring some.
I even want to see us, fix a lot of the adjoining streets.
Exactly.
Because if the main road is busy and there's an adjoining street on my left, I can take there. And go to the next end.
We should do that.
But here's the case whereby those
we're wasting a lot of fuel.
So exactly.
You have totally mentioned the magic. some of those roads have not been completed, so you cannot connect. Just a little bridge to be put over there. And so, for that matter, you see somebody who's coming to Metro going to wind all around somewhere, Rage Hospital, before they can connect. That is in the case.
Meanwhile, you could have just done something simple then.
And we are losing some money from there. You are using a lot of fuel to get there.
And also the part where you mentioned that municipal assemblies shouldn't just wake up and be, putting people on payroll and exceeding their budgets and all that. They should rather be in consultation with
the ministry. It's a directive that has been given from the top brass minister, and so I think they should watch at it. Now, my final look at it will be my appeal about the tax-free threshold, that government should look at the personal income tax of these workers and then increase the threshold to make sure they can release some of the people who are taking meager salaries as meager as 500 or 600 Ghana.
I mean, meager is relative.
Well, I'm saying
meager
that.
Is relative.
Well, I'm saying that because, like I told you, this is a woman who is a widow with 4 children. She has to buy parts, not even food. The parts they will flow
itself,
before food comes in. And then finally, with the excise taxes. I've seen industry playing some games, calling on government to remove excise taxes or reduce it. I think we should discuss with them. It shouldn't be touched. We should leave it there. It has a purpose because we are collecting these monies and it will be used to manage the scary numbers of NCDs that are recorded.
See, Jeffrey, my issue is as we create these buffers, regulation and continuous audit should be in place. We don't want to wake up the next voice and say that the money that we're given isn't what is there. That's what I've been telling you all this while. As you continue to create these buffers to help us in very unseen circumstances, we should just make sure that the auditing continuously is
so
there.
The Auditor General should be up on his job. And once we have heard from the Finance Minister that there will be acts of surcharging, that if you sit down, you don't validate and it goes through, you'll be surcharged. I think it's a good call. Public Accounts Committee, when I was discussing with the Speaker in one of in the recent forum with the Speaker when he met with CSOs, he told us that they made some euros. They always make from the Public Account Committee.
If you don't take it, they'll take us off TV.
Okay, so quickly,
come back.
So I think with the excise tax, I think it should be there. It does a lot of
Thank you so much. So I'll be here with Jeffrey Okansi, he's a tax expert. I'm Bright Nanakwesi 7. Thanks so much for watching Good Afternoon Ghana. Have a good afternoon and bye.
Hey, come on, you every day, man.